Hi, my name is George Araiza, and today I'm going to answer a question that I get often. People ask me why they keep picking toxic people for their relationships. So, the reason why people do this is they're doing it subconsciously. They're not really conscious of the decisions that they're making. We have stored within our subconscious mind and our bodies programs related to what we have learned constitutes a relationship, whether it's healthy or it's unhealthy. And what people gravitate towards when they are selecting a mate is someone who is like them. What do I mean by that? I've had people say, I want a partner who is unconditionally loving, thoughtful, kind, generous, forgiving. And I always say this, that's great to want. Who wouldn't want that? But you have to be that person to get that person, to attract that person. If you're not any of the things that I just mentioned, if you meet up with somebody who's attractive and they get to know you and they see that you are conditionally loving, you're not forgiving, that you aren't kind, that you aren't thoughtful, they have enough self-respect for themselves to say, you know what, this relationship isn't working for me because you're not as committed to the relationship as I am. So that's really, really important that people get that point. That, relationships are not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about we're working this relationship together for the good of us both. Not one is relying on the other for everything. Or because when that comes about, then the relationship becomes codependent. It's that the individual doesn't feel that they have enough, they don't have enough self-confidence actually, or belief in themselves to not be needy. And the good news is that these relationship patterns can be changed. If we come to the point where we're conscious enough and we say, okay, what I'm doing or what I continue to do as far as picking people as partners isn't working, maybe it's time for me to do something different. So that's when it's really important to find out, okay, what went on within the individual's family of origin. When I talk to clients, most of them, when I look at how their parents interacted, that's how they interact with people around them. It's important to understand that we choose people subconsciously because it's what we're comfortable with. And most people will stick with something even if it's unpleasant rather than change, because nobody likes change. Yet change is all around us, and it's really important that we change the way we view ourselves and the way we view other people. If we improve our self-image, if we improve our ability to be compassionate, loving, thoughtful, kind, then we will attract that same thing back to us. Why is that? Because everything that we say and we do are like boomerangs. They go out into the world and they come back to us. Maybe not right away, but we are sowing the seeds of outcomes. And those outcomes, based on what we say or do, are either positive or they are not. So my recommendation to people always is, if you really, really want a good partner in your life, you have to be willing to do the work, to look at yourself and say, okay, what do I need to fix? What do I need to improve? When you take care of you and you improve your self-image, then everything else around you will take care of itself. Because we look for what we know, and I don't know if you've heard the term, but this is true, mimicry is the greatest form of flattery. So we look for people who are just like us. They may be an extreme, and they may be the opposite in certain areas of their lives, sort of like, you know, one's mother or father. But the thing is, the way that they handle arguments or they handle problems is the same as what we were used to seeing in our family of origin. So remember that the subconscious mind is the driver, and the semi-conscious mind goes along for the ride. And I mean, this is really, really true. People are doing and saying things that when I really take a look at it, I'm like, these people are on autopilot. And since we don't live on this earth forever, it's really important to ask ourselves, what kind of quality of life am I living? What kind of quality of life do I want? Am I willing to put in the work that it takes to have a great life and a great relationship first with myself and then with those around me? Because we tend to pair up with people for romantic relationships, for job relationships, also for friendships, with people who are like us, who have our same values, who share our code of ethics. Or it could be that these people have no ethics and they hook up with people who also have no ethics, or they don't have healthy boundaries. I just wanted to talk about also, what are healthy boundaries? Nobody seems to know, so I'm going to answer that now. Healthy boundaries consist of more than the 3 feet of space that encircle us. It also consists of our right to speak our truth, pursue our dreams, and be supported. If we can do that with ourselves and we have healthy boundaries, we know that there are limits. That's important, because people that don't have proper boundaries or limits, that brings about anarchy in their lives. So there are ways to behave and there are ways not to behave, and there are things to say and things not to say. There's also a time and a place for everything. So it's important to be discerning. It's important to understand that we get out of life only what we put into it, and that includes relationships with ourselves and with other people. So feel free to send in to me any questions that you have about relationships, and I will answer them for you. Until next time, take care.